Hello, lads and lasses. Hey, if you like today's lesson, then please call the principal's office and demand that the school's motto of "We Are One" be changed to "I Heart Art," as this would really help spread the good word about my class. Hey, everybody. Today we're going to do a little bit more practice with the skeleton. So I want you to print out the picture of the skeletons that I sent you, or have this ready. And also, I want you to print out a picture of somebody in a pose. I do not want them just standing there, but they have to be posed in some sort of way. So I want you to go online. So if you watch what I do up on the screen, and if you go to your internets and you go to Google, let's just go to Google. Google. All right, you get to Google, and then you get Google and say, let's say you want to do a basketball player. Let's do lowercase. BASKETBALLPLAYER. All right, and go to images. And while you may have a favorite player, I want you to choose an image where you can see the whole figure from head to toe. So like that photo will not do, this photo will not do, but this photo will, because I can see the player from head to toe. This photo's not okay, that photo's not okay. So, but this one is. That one is a good photo for this assignment. I want to see the whole figure from top to bottom. This is a good photo right there for this assignment. You have to see the whole person from head to toe. And here's another good one right here. All right. And it doesn't have to be a basketball player. It could be, let's see, let's do celebrity photo. CLEBRIT. And let's hope, I think a lot of this will be faces, but hopefully we'll be able to find somebody who can see the whole body. But type in your favorite person if that's what you want to do. All right, and find somebody up. There we go. All right, who is that? That is, I don't know. All right, some celebrity, but that is the whole figure from head to toe. And so that one would be okay. All right, so I'm going to skip back over to the, all right, you can either, I'm going to post a few of these for you. You can either print them or go and find your own. Here's another example. So I'll be doing one for a woman, one for a man. And focus. Focus. All right. All right, and you will need a pencil. You will need your colored pencils. Let's have that at an angle. And you're going to need black, and you are going to need your white colored pencil, and I'm going to ask that you have a brown colored pencil. Those are the three colors that we're going to use on this assignment. Pencil, white, black, brown. All right, now what I want you to do is to look at these skeletons, and you are going to draw them right on right on top of your figure. Now, and then if your figure is facing away from you, then you would be using the back of the skeleton, since this figure is not facing away from us. And this figure kind of looks a lot like this one, only swapped. So I'll just imagine this one going the other direction, that it's swapped. All right, and then what I want you to do is just draw the skeleton right on top of the figure. Let's see if we can focus lock. All right, there we go. And look at that skull. Now, once again, I'm going to draw the opposite of the skull. So notice how the skull kind of does a straight line right here, and it goes back and curves like this. But this guy, you can see more of his eye. So this skull is somewhere between that one and that one. So I might start with like the circle of the eye, and like it's kind of a squarish circle. All right, good. I think that's coming out all right. And then there's the nose is kind of like a triangle. So I'll do like a triangle for the nose. And then I'm going to come in from this side. You can just think about short hairs. You can really see the skull. And then there's is the skull. And I can tell that his teeth are right there. And then I'll draw the teeth. And then this goes back like that. And then around it comes like this. All right. All right, so that is his skull. Oh, and to show you guys how we sharpen pencils in here, these are special colored pencils, and you can't use these in the school pencil sharpener. And this one kind of gets kind of dull. I sharpen pencils with an X-Acto knife. So basically, I'm just going to whittle away all the wood to expose the core, right, which is where the color is. And then I will use the pencil sharpener and just get a sharp tip on the end of the core. And that's how I sharpen colored pencils. So let's get back over to this guy. Zoom in, see what we're doing. Let's focus again. And then I'm going to lightly color in the skull. And notice that the eyes kind of and the nose are going to stay. There we go. They're going to stay dark because I'm going to color those in with the black. And I'm using kind of like a medium pressure on this. I'm not pushing down hard. All right, and I'll come in with the black. And the black, I'm kind of pushing down hard. And then there's the triangle. All right. And then I will do the teeth. And I'm going to sharpen this a little bit. Get a nice pointed edge on it. All right. And then with my brown, I'm going to sharpen my brown. Sharpening, 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 getting that wood off. And then I'm going to get a nice tip, a nice point on that. And notice that the skeleton has kind of like a little bit of a brownish kind of tint to it. So I'm going to add just a little bit of brown into just some edges. All right. And now I come back in here. I'm going to make this a little bit more white. All right, just a little bit of brown, just to kind of give it some of that color. Oh, and then notice that this part has a little bit of a shadow, so I'll put a shadow under here. In fact, I'll even do that with the black. All right. Okay. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing. Then I'm going to start to draw the all the the skeleton, all the bones on top of this guy. So I might start with like the stuff that's in front. So this right here, his forearm, is the radius and the ulna. So I'll look at my arm, and I'm going to look at this arm to get my radius and the ulna. And it has a large part, and it thins out, and then it makes a large part right here, and it goes back over here, and then you have another bone that kind of sticks out like this, and then it goes in like that. So if I can see what I've drawn, all right, I'm going to color that in, that bone, and then I'm going to color this other bone in. All right, and then on the inside, give it a little bit of darkness in there. All right, and then give it a little bit of a color of the bone. All right. I'll come back in a little bit more, pushing a little bit harder with the white. Right, and then I'll do the bones of the hand. And these can get kind of thin, but you got the bones right there. Then I'll do these bones, the fingers. That connects to that one, that connects to that one, and like that. That connects, and almost like the shadows of this guy are already pretty good for the bones. I'll just do a little bit of cleaning up here, make it look like there's some knuckles there. And I might even just add a little bit of color just to give it, all right. And then for the upper part of the bone right here, all right, I'm going to draw that. And this one is at a foreshadowing. So, I'm just going to, notice that it's like his arm looks really short. That's because it's coming out at us. And I'm going to color that in and give it a little bit of shadow and give it an outline with the black. Do a little bit of a shadow right there. All right, that's one of his bones. And let's do his other bones right up here. So we're going to make, those are his carpals and metacarpals, or tarsals and metatarsals. I'm not sure which. And then the radius and ulna, we can see the whole thing here. That goes out like this. And then there's like a little separation between the two bones. I'll color it in. Let me give it a little bit of a shadow. Give these a little bit of a shadow. And then we'll do the humerus over here. So we'll do a big bone that goes all the way. I think it would go from right there to right there. I'm trying to look at where the shoulder would be, and it looks like it's behind his hand. So there's the bone right there. All right, and I'll give it a little bit of a shadow. And then an outline. We'll give these guys an outline. All right, now here comes the hard part, is the rib cage. And we'll go ahead and draw the rib cage because, let me turn on the lights. So I don't want because he's at an angle, his sternum, which is the breastbone, is not going to be in the middle. Like this guy's looking right at us. But this guy, this one right here is more at an angle. He's a lot more like this, whereas sternum is going to be off to the side a little bit. And in our case, the sternum is going to be off to the right side. So I'm going to just draw it right there. So let me color it in. All right, that's the sternum. And then the other side of the rib cage, you can just barely see it. So I'll do a little bit of the rib cage. There's just, we can just barely see it. So it's going to look like this. And then it comes down like this. All right. That's what his rib cage is going to look like. Give it a little bit of a color, just a little bit, not much. It's still mostly white. And let's give it a little bit of a shadow where it goes behind the other bone. I'm adding more white onto that. Oh, you can't even see because I haven't in the right. Jeez. I drew the sternum right here, and then see how on this side you just see a little bit of the rib cage? Well, I put it on the other side. You just see just a little bit of the rib cage right there. And then this rib cage is going to dip down and back. So I'm going to dip this down and back. That's his rib cage. So then he has bones that go down and back, almost like straight lines. So we'll go down and back like that, back like that, back, and then we begin to have it go back like this. And then over here, there's from the shoulder to the middle, that's what's called the clavicle. So I'm going to draw the clavicle right here. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of a color. Not much. It's still white bone. And then that's where the ribs are coming up into. Right there. And right there. And right there. And right there. So I'll give them a bit of an outline with the black. And I'll give them a little bit of a shadow with the brown. And then down here, I'm going to thicken these up a little bit. And give these guys just a little bit of a color. Notice I'm not coloring the whole thing brown. I'm just doing little parts of it as color. And where it goes under the other one, I'm going to add more shadow right there. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Anytime something goes under something else, you want to give it a shadow. Make it look like it's going under. And then I'm going to use my black to like exaggerate or to define some of these shapes here. All right, I need to give this guy a bit of a color. All right, so we've done the rib cage. Now, I'm going to start with the pelvis. So this is going to be complicated, but I'm going to draw this part right here. So it kind of dips down. I'm going to try to imitate this the best that I can. And also I'm flipping it. So I'm going to start it right about right here. So if that goes that direction, then this is going to go this direction. So, all right, I just drew that part right there. And then this kind of goes out back, kind of curves in and back and curves in. All right, and then that's going to be where the top of the femur is, that right there. That's the top of the femur. That's the top of the femur. All right, and then the spine kind of touches about right here. And if that curves around like that, then that's got to curve around like this. And that's just going to be the outer one. So we'll do one like there, one right there, one right there, one right there. And that is these outer like bands. And then on the inside of that, and we notice that the front part of the spine is going to come out right there. So, and I'll come back in. So we've lost that bottom of that rib. So I'm going to draw that in. And I'm going to give some delineation down here. There we go. And each of these has, I'm going to do it with the brown. In between each of these spikes, there's a line that goes across, maybe like that. And I'm going to give a little bit of a color to each one, like that. And then under here, where it's being hidden by the ribs, I'm going to make it darker. And do dark right there, dark. All right, so that's his spine. Come back in, make some of this lighter. All right, and then the rest of the pelvis on the other side goes around like this. All right. So then let's make this like this. Try to imitate it the best you can. I know it's a weird shape. Make that. So that's the femur. It goes all the way to the knee. All right. And then we'll make the front part of the pelvis. There's a hole right there. And then that's the other side of the pelvis. There's a little part that goes in like this. All right, the back of that bone. And then it goes like this. All right, so I'm going to color all of this in white. And this side got a lot of light, so I'm going to color all of this in. And I'm going to color all of this into, I'll just color it in with the, there we go, that's his pelvis. All right. Let me give it a little bit of color here. Give that. All right. And this takes a lot of color right here. And then down here it gets really dark. And back here it gets really dark. Back over here it gets really dark. And underneath it gets really, and this part is really dark. All right. And then there's another leg, right? If that's his knee down here, then his other knee comes out from here, and it goes like this. And then it's going to go behind this other knee. All right, now let's make this dark. And then I can come in with my black, right? And there's like a separation right there. And there's another line that goes back here. Goes like that. We'll color that in. All of that is colored. All right. Then I'm going to color in the femur. I'll color in the other femur. All right, give it some shadows. Just a little bit of brown. Give it some shadows. Put some more white back into it. All right, and then I'm going to do the patella, which is the kneecap. So give it like an oval and give that a little bit of a shadow. And then this, all right, so if, let's get, maybe, hold on. All right. All right, so if the ankle is right there and the knee is right there, so we know that the bone goes from here to here. And there's another bone in the back that goes like that. And if the ankle is here and the knee is here, we know that it goes from like there to there, and then there's another bone in the back. All right, so let's color those in. All right. And get that delineation. I'm going to use just a black line. And then I'll come in with my brown, give it some shadow. And I'm letting just random areas of brown stay. I'm not going to try to make it even or perfect. I'm just letting little bits of color pop. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect, all right? And then now the foot. So there's a bone that makes like an ankle or the heel in the back of the foot. It's one big long bone. And then you have a bunch of like tarsals or metacarpals, or I'm not sure what they're called. And then there's a bunch of lines. And they get shorter as they go out. So it goes like that. And then there's like these little rock-shaped bones that you have. And then there's these lines, these little black and white lines. All right, that make up the foot. And then I'll come in and just add a little bit of color. Let them stay white. And I'll do the same thing over here. So there's that heel bone. It's like a big bone right here, and it makes the heel. And then there's a bunch of like little stones. And because of the view that we have right here, we're not going to see much of the different toes. We're seeing more of like a side view, kind of like what you see right here in that one. That would be pretty similar to what we're going to try to copy. All right, try to get the differentiation of the bones right there. And all right, just made a couple of little lines, and then I just add some color. All right, and there we have a skeleton in action. All right, and what I'm also going to do, and this is going to be new for this year, but I think I'm going to add in a color. And so I think I'm going to use this mint green color. So let me sharpen my pencil. And that'll be like the outside of the skeleton. And where did my sharpener go? There's the sharpener. Get a nice sharp tip on that. And that's what happens commonly with colored pencils, is they break very easy inside a sharpener. So we've got to be extra careful. Also, with these X-Acto knives that we use in the classroom, do not use these outside of the classroom. All right. Be extra careful with them. They're extremely sharp. All right. So now I have a sharp pencil, and let me show you what I want you to do. Is I just want you to just kind of, I just want to see the skeleton. And so make a strong outline of the skeleton, and then the rest is going to be just green. And then ease up off the pressure as you come away from the skeleton. So we'll do a nice black outline, and then after that, you just ease up off the pressure. And we're just trying to make the skeleton stand out. So we're adding just a little bit of color to this. And that helps the skeleton kind of stand out. Let's get a black outline around the middle of this. And then we'll get that green in there, so you can see it better. Because this photocopy is black and white. In fact, you know what? Let's see. That little shape in there just looks kind of weird, even though it's there in the picture or in the skeleton. Like that little shape right there, it just looks kind of weird on the drawing. All right, that kind of helps to make things look where you can see the skeleton better. Do a little bone around there. See how the skeleton is starting to stand out a little bit more now? Let's get up here into the ribs. Let's see what that does. Just ease up off the pressure the farther you get away from the skeleton. Pushing down with a medium pressure, easing up off the pressure. And up here. There we go. All right. Well, I'm not going to finish this just because I'm running out of time and I'm boring you. But be sure and do this assignment. All right. If you have any questions, you can email me. Let's see what the skull looks like when we do this. Yeah, that looks better. See, what the green does is it makes that white kind of pop out. Oh, yeah. Here it gets all confused. I'm sorry, people. I just love drawing skeletons. It's one of my favorite things to do. Let's see what it looks like when we do this. All right, and then I think there's some more of the skeleton. It should go in like that. We should see more of the rib cage. In fact, I think the rib cage. So we're seeing kind of the scapula back there. So I'm going to make it kind of black like that. All right. So print out a picture of a celebrity or a basketball player or any kind of person where you can see the total top and bottom of the person. And let me turn on the lights. Draw the full person and then draw the full skeleton and then do some color for the outside. All right. You can choose your own color. I just chose green because I don't know, I was just feeling green today. So, all right. That's your assignment.
All right, that's it for today. And until next time, be a little art factory.